So we're going on a bit of a trek today. We've got a nice little nature trail and all there, so we've actually never been down it. It's ironically it's near a waste management facility, but they reclaimed the land, done a bunch of cultivation and all that. But they call it whoa, there's a hole there. Horseshoe Basin is what they call it. It's kind of a retention pond, and they've got all kinds of stuff. And, here we've got the kids, doing all kinds of crazy stuff already. We haven't even gotten in, but so we're just going to, take a walk because the weather has finally turned really nice. It's about 60 degrees, 65 degrees, somewhere in there. I actually forgot to look before coming out here. Come on, you two, this way. So it's nice. It is really nice. It's sunny. We have blue skies, as you can see behind me. But it's really nice. No, this one right here. So it looks like
this is where we are.
Right.
Yeah. So
Looks like it's a good amount of wetlands and all kinds of stuff over here.
Bat box spur.
Yeah, there's
Beaver trail. That's a quarry pond. I didn't realize that was a quarry
there's all
pond.
kinds of stuff back here. But here, I'll kind of show. Kaya, look out. Calm down. But as you see, this is where we are currently, and
right here.
this is the parking area and all of that. We actually live. You see these baseball fields and all that. We live about 2 minutes this way. This is literally right down the road from us. But yeah, it looks like we got all kinds of woodland trails, and there's all kinds of stuff.
Loop.
Yeah. So we're gonna walk for a bit today. I don't know if we're necessarily gonna do all of it.
No.
Children, over here, now.
This is to the seagull.
Yeah, seagulls are going crazy. Come on. You let them out of the house for 5 minutes and they go crazy. This is going to be something we're going to have to start doing a lot more regular. But as you see, the kids are absolutely excited. Something.
Over to the right. Over to the right. To the right.
This is part of learning how to film while walking out and doing things.
To the right.
I'm actually using my cell phone for this again. I've decided that the little camera we have is not worth a flip, to be honest. Stay out of the mud. Kaya, get out of the mud. Quit walking through the muddiest part on purpose. Hello. 7-year-olds. If there is a path that is the least desirable for them to walk through, that's what they go through.
There was a big spot of mud.
So you had to walk through it.
Yeah,
We had to. Couldn't go around it because the grassy spot that Mommy and Dad walked on, clearly not an option. Pretty much just woods through here. Lots of old growth. Well, honestly, didn't expect a ton. I mean, we're just coming out of winter, so everything is effectively dead. I'm impressed the grass has already started to turn green in here. We've had snow on the ground so much this winter. It's been crazy.
Last week we had 2 inches of snow on the ground.
Yeah, just last week we had 2 inches of snow on the ground. It was ridiculous. It was a fairly harsh winter up here.
Skunk tusk?
Huh?
Looks like a piece of skunk fur.
Could be. Don't touch it.
Don't touch.
What is it?
Could be part of a skunk tail.
Chunk of fur.
Yeah,
I actually grew up on a house that was sitting on 3 acres that my parents owned, but it was surrounded by hundreds of acres of woods. So I actually grew up in the woods, just wandering around doing things. You would think I'm a big hunter and all of that, but I actually have been hunting maybe a handful of times in my life. I hated it every time. I'm not a big hunter. Nope, this way. We're not going into the water. Here's one of the mini ponds.
No, we were just looking.
That said, I'm going to probably try, to be entirely fair, my experience with hunting was probably not really the greatest. It was show up somewhere, sit in a tree stand for hours at some god-awful hour in the morning in the freezing cold. And that was just straight boring to me. Now, I did have one experience when I was about, well, I take that back. Now that I think about it, there's 2 times I've been hunting that I did actually enjoy myself. The first one when I was about 12, my family down in Florida for my 12th birthday took me on a wild hog hunt. There was no sitting. It was in the vehicles to the area, release the dogs, chase them down. I have to admit that was rather enjoyable. So I may have to try something like that again. The second time was probably around the 14 age. I went up north with my then uncle, who technically is not anymore, but that's another story. And he took us quail hunting. Again, a very similar situation where you're out, you're moving around, you've got the dogs running around, and it was quite interesting. Big snail shells. So, I think what I might do is at some point, maybe later this year, once we kind of stabilize a little bit, I get back to working a regular job and we get some of the stress and all we currently have on us off, I'll probably try and connect up with somebody up here and get taught how to properly hunt and all of that. Because one of the things I can say is I love venison and stuff like that. I love wild game meat. I have no realistic way of getting it outside of, occasionally getting lucky and finding somebody willing to part with a little bit of it. And, it's just, just not a fair way to do things. I figure if I'm going to partake in things like that, I should partake in the entire process. And, I'm sure some of it doesn't make me comfortable, but it's like anything else. You got to kind of learn to expand your horizon. I actually did not know there were so many ponds back here. This is what they call frog pond. And of course there's snails, leeches, and mayflies. Awesome! Snails, leeches, and mayflies. What a fantastic pond. I'm impressed. And then over here, where the kids actually are, we have this sunfish pool. It looks like they've got bluegill and pumpkin seeds, dragonflies, all kinds of fun. A sunfish nest. I have no idea what a sunfish is. See, I grew up in the woods. I grew up on the Florida coast. Kind of half my life one place, half in the other. Deep sea fishing is one thing I really love, and I never get the opportunity to do it, which just sucks.
They're probably just leaving. Oh.
Hey, kids, come here. Look up there.
Where?
Bird.
Oh, yeah?
He just flew in.
He's yelling at us.
Hey, up there.
Oh, I see.
He's yelling at us because we disturbed him.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Daddy, what is that?
Listen.
It's just a seed pod.
What is a seed pod?
It held the seeds of that plant.
Yep, put it down.
What kind of seed?
I have no idea.
Seeds for that plant, so it'll release
The inevitable questions of, well, what are the specifics? I don't know.
We know.
I can tell you most of the plants in the area that I grew up in, but a lot of these are completely new to me, so.
And I've never seen something such as this.
Yeah, sure you have. It looks, this little tiny white flowers. Looks very similar to baby's breath.
It looks like it's done.
And here, is that a bird or is that a frog?
Sounds like a
Shh.
That could be a frog.
It could be a frog.
bird.
It's something. Might be a bird.
Bird.
Yep, that's a
There's a
goose.
goose.
Goose?
It's only.
Because there's only one.
Yep.
I don't recognize that sound.
Sounds like a frog.
Might be a frog. But I couldn't honestly tell you. Quit.
Oh, is this the area where they planted all those trees?
Oh, is it?
Look, it's coming up here.
Oh, yeah.
No, we're not going in there. That's very swampy.
Yes. A bunch of trees. Oh, little rapid area, a little transition here.
Wow.
Nothing fancy. I guess you could call it a waterfall because it technically starts a lot higher, but for the most part, it's just rapids.
Ooh, shit. We can push it in.
And watch, it'll come out on this side. Maybe. Here, let's get something a little more visible. Hold on. I'm going to take this. Now watch that side.
Watch this side.
Watch over there. I'm going to
Gotta
throw
move
this.
fast.
We're going to drop this in over here. Whoop. At some point. And here it comes.
There it goes.
There it is. It's all the way over there now.
Oh, I like that. Ooh, Daddy, how about this?
You'll have a hard time seeing that, but go ahead. There it goes.
I stole it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that again.
No, we're not going to keep throwing stuff in. Come on. So, I guess that kind of begs the question. What inspired us to do this? You know, we talked about a few things in our intro and all of that, but really a lot of it came down to we were looking, as we said, to make some changes in our lives and all of that. And I guess I have to give some credit to, you know, some of the really popular YouTubers like the Shaytards. You know, watching some of the things that they did, because my wife watches them. I'd never heard of them myself until she introduced me to them. And,
Pick it up. Kaya.
you know, it kind of inspired her to realize, you know, hey, there are other things that we can do besides the traditional, there are other things that we can do besides the traditional ways of doing things. You know, if we're willing to step outside of our comfort zone, it's very possible that our lives might very well be interesting to somebody other than ourselves. I mean, we've said for years that we are quite a bit different than everybody around us. We definitely have our own peculiar likes and dislikes, and certainly have some strong opinions about things from time to time, but you know, we're just trying to move forward in a means that, you know, we can make a life for ourselves that, you know, we can respect ourselves for. And so after watching a number of the episodes of how the Shaytards go about their business and all of that, it it kind of opened my eyes to the fact that there are, oh no, this is just a viewing area. There are other avenues that one can pursue. And so we've started walking down this path. Now I recognize that we're not going to become the Shaytards anytime in the near future, if ever. I don't expect to. Yeah, cattails. Big area. This is actually, honestly, this is probably a nesting ground for the geese.
Yeah. Please don't water too, guys. Don't water too
Come
far.
back this way. Come back. Oh, and suddenly they have found a way to make a mess. Out in the middle of a marshland, and my children find a way to make a mess. Only my kids.
You
Ow.
just help spreading the cattails.
Yes, they are helping spread nature. Fantastic.
Yeah.
But
This does look like a good area
yeah,
for a nest for
this
geese.
is a nest. Yeah. All right, this way,
Come
children.
on, guys.
So, obviously,
Come on.
you know, I have no expectations of, you know, becoming the next Shaytards or anything like that. You know, they've put in
This
a
way.
monumental amount of work to get
Come
where
on,
they're
Kaya.
at, and
All right, good.
I recognize that it's going to take us years as well to build this up into something that has a following, a community of fans. And for those that have already started watching us and are telling others about us, you know, I sincerely appreciate it. I really do. This is not something you decide to do lightly. It wasn't something we decided to do on a whim or anything like that. It took a lot of thought, a lot of consideration, especially because
Are these really colors?
I am largely a fairly
All right, come on,
private
turn around.
person. I've gone out of my way over the years to keep my online persona an identity completely separate from my real identity and all of that, because I'm just not a big fan of all of the NSA spying and Google data mining and all of that. But the reality of the matter is despite monumental efforts on my end, information has gotten out there anyway, and it's kind of a never-ending fight of trying to blockade yourself from all of this stuff. And the reality of the matter is you just can't. So, am I giving up? No, I'm not. In a sense, but I guess you could say in a sense I am. I'm still trying to maintain my privacy to a degree and all of that, but I just recognize the fact that the way I've done things my entire life up to now has just simply not worked. And so I'm going to have to do different things in order to achieve the life and the dream that I have, which is, I'm not necessarily looking to become super wealthy or anything like that. I just want to hit a state that, I don't have to fear losing my house like I currently do. I don't have to fear, having to be forced to move again. Just because I randomly lost a job. I want to, hit a point where back here, I want to hit a point where I'm in control of where I go. And right now I'm not. And that's a very frustrating place to be. So, yeah. That's kind of the goal. And it's going to take a lot of effort. I'm currently still trying to find a job that makes ends meet and pays the bills. I recognize that this is going to take time to build up, but I earnestly believe, after watching a lot of other videos and spending the time researching what you can do, what you can't do, etc. with YouTube and things like it, that I can make a living off of this at some point. It's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of you, really, because obviously this will never happen if I don't come up with a means to get in touch with those who start to watch me and impress them and show them that yes, we do bring something unique to the table and inspire you to watch us and to want to watch us and to want to talk about us. This is going to be a project that lasts for years, and I'm hoping that this project goes on for, who knows how long. I would love it to be, something that is, I guess you could say, a lifetime commitment. I'm having fun with it at the moment, to be quite honest. I'm really shocked at how much fun I'm having with it. And I've put a lot of time and effort into looking at all of this stuff. And yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at the moment. Now the gnat swarms are after me. They're after me. Ugh. Random holes in the trail. This is great for the kids. They get to run. I don't have to worry about them getting too terribly far. I can yell at them if they get too terribly far. I can edit me yelling out of the video. No, I've actually not yelled a single time. For those that are parents, though, you completely understand what I'm talking about. You love your children to death, but sometimes it's like, go away! Just go away! But this is so fantastic for them. They get to run and play and yell and scream. And it's awesome. I love this. I'm going to have to do this more often. I'm having a ball right now. So, like I said, I have realistic expectations. I understand that they got where they are because they put a ton of time and a ton of work into it. this is not a hobby. If you want to make a future out of this, this is a full-time job. And when I say full-time job, it's like any other business. You're not putting in, a 9 to 5 workday and calling it a day. You're putting in hours and hours and hours every day into researching and studying and building things up and learning. And right now I'm kind of in that consuming content. I'm watching tons and tons of videos. I've watched more videos in the past week, past 2 weeks really, than I've watched in the entirety of YouTube's existence. Just trying to learn how can I be, how do I do this? How do I make my videos look better? How do I make, this easier to do? Because I found there are certain things that just take me hours and hours and hours to do. And then I turn around and I find something that turns it into a 5-minute process. Little things like that. So it's definitely an effort. And I'm literally doing this 7 days a week now. Granted, I've got more than just this channel going on. This is primarily our family channel and all that. Children, a little closer, please. This is, kind of where we're going to showcase us. But I've also got my gaming channels and all of that, where I'm doing my own vlogs on gaming, the industry, the games I'm playing, things of that nature. Because I've been a gamer ever since I was big enough to pick up a controller. And so it's, there's a lot of stuff to consider. And of course, navigating he's right there, navigating the gauntlet of copyright and all of that is just insane. Just absolutely insane. I mean, I understand that, copyright owners and all of that, want to make certain that their stuff's not being abused and all of that, but it's kind of hit a point of ridiculous. It's really, really challenging for new content creators and all that to get started, to find this stuff. Now, one of the things I managed to find through one of my gaming streams, as it were, is a place called Epidemic Sounds. And they're a musical startup over in, I think, Sweden or the Netherlands, something like that. And basically they provide new YouTubers or Twitch streamers and all of that access to royalty-free music. So that's where a lot of the music that you're starting to hear in some of my videos, and all of the music that you hear in my gaming streams and videos and things of that nature, like Gnat Swarm, that's where all of that comes from. And of course, I'll be, anytime I've got that, I'll be providing links to their service and all of that. It's a fantastic service they've got for artists and all of that, especially for up-and-coming streamers. For those of us who are brand new, it's, you talk to them, say, hey, here's what I'm doing, this is how I found out about you, and they give you access to it as far as streaming the music for free, which is just absolutely phenomenal, because everything else costs money. The software that I had to get in order to edit videos, God, the free versions were horrible. Don't let anybody lie to you. The free versions of video editing software Sean, back here, are just heavily restricted. There's so little you can do with them, or the ones that actually let you do stuff are so ridiculously complex to use, it's unreal. And this is coming from somebody who is a tech. What? Yeah, I know. This is coming from somebody who is a tech. And I learn and pick up technology extremely fast. So if I'm saying something is overly complex and difficult to deal with, it's probably overly complex and difficult to deal with. Granted, I'm not the end-all be-all authority on video editing software, but nonetheless, I can simply speak from a perspective of I have taught people how to use technology and all of that over the years, and some of it's just kind of ridiculous. I think more to the point is how time-consuming some of it is. One of the things that really struck me, I'll use the one freebie that everyone's, Windows Movie Maker. In order to load a video, it has to go through this process, which depending on your computer can take a long flipping time. And then once you're done with it, you save it. It has to go through the conversion process, which takes more time. I was averaging, for about a 20-minute clip, I was averaging somewhere in the neighborhood, because I'd start out with an hour and a half of raw footage. In order to, to import that, trim it down, things like that, I was averaging on, 4 to 5 hours of time invested. Now, granted, most of that was not necessarily me sitting there at the computer time. I'd say a good 3 hours of that was just, waiting on the computer to do the conversion process. Now, granted, I don't have the most high-end computer. I don't have a piece of crap. I mean, it was a top-end gaming rig when I built it, so it's far from a bad machine, but it's certainly not. It's about a generation older than the Intel, the i5s, the i3s, i7s, and all that. It's a AMD Thuban 1055T 6-core, which is really about on par with a Intel 4-core, but nonetheless, it's not a bad machine. But still, it struggles hard. Sean, back here. It struggles hard with the video encoding and decoding and all of that. Now, or with Windows Movie Maker. Now, I turn around and I try another program, which I'm not going to talk about right now, but it loads the video instantly. The conversion process only happens after I've done all of my edits, after I've trimmed all my clips. So instead of having to do a conversion on an hour and a half of film and then reconvert it and have it pull it out after I'm done editing it twice, I'm only converting that which I'm actually using. So it's changed it to where I'm only actually having to convert about 20 minutes worth of film, which is significantly better. So that's helping quite a bit, and that's got me down from 4 or 5 hours invested just editing film, just waiting on it to realistically half hour to an hour, which is much better. That way I'm getting to spend more time in the actual production quality, things of that nature.
Dad, I'm taller than you.
But that said, I think we're going to end that for today. I've got a bunch between Am and myself, and hey, thanks for watching Trainwreck in Progress. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well as the like button and leave a comment down below. We'd love to hear from you as well as take a chance to respond back to you. Also, don't forget to check out our other videos that we have on the channel with many more coming soon.